Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is DeWeese, and if you're new here, I have a history of working in HR, employee benefits, and insurance. But as of late, I've taken up an interest in AI systems as well as cryptocurrency. And today I am reviewing a video with you that I did on my personal journey and how I've made changes and some of the struggles and twists and turns along the way on this new path of learning about AI systems and how I have incorporated some of the lessons that I've learned over the years in some of these other categories like coaching and health and wellness into my learnings in AI and automations. And then for those of you that hang out until the end, I will be playing a song that I made. I have been doing this in a couple of my videos where I include songs that I've made with AI. And the song at the end is called She's Going Straight to Heaven. And this song, it's about a man who is mourning the loss of his wife. And he's a rough man who's had a rough life. And I felt that the song did a good job at putting forward that emotion. And I wanted to share it with you, see what you guys thought. And I think it's fun. These AI systems can be rather dry, but there are some very creative elements that we can weave in to AI systems, and this is one of my ways of doing it. So I would like to share my Straight to Heaven, She's Going Straight to Heaven song with you. Hang out until the end if you want to hear that. Otherwise, I'll see you on the other side. I really went down this path as a researcher. Not that I'm professionally trained or anything like that. I am a naturally curious person. And when I start to research something, I tend to go all in. It's just part of my personality. It's what happened when I decided to change my body. I remember the day that I really decided to go all in with diet, nutrition, and health and all of that, and it was actually this might sound awkward to some people, but it's the truth, is that I was in a locker room and I saw one of my teachers getting dressed, and she was just, like, talking to everybody, and everybody she was hauling ass, she was switching out between classes, and I or just the confidence that came from her in front of her peers, just changing and not feeling you could tell she had no insecurities about it. And I later on, I remember I went to a pool party and I was embarrassed and I didn't want to get in my suit and all this stuff. And I just thought, how nice would it be just to just be comfortable in my own skin? Just to, yeah, just to be, I just want to be comfortable in my own skin, God damn it. Like that was literally my intention when I started out on my fitness journey. And at the end of my fitness journey, or at least it's not the end, but and I don't even hate calling it a fitness journey because it's such a YouTube, social media hashtag thing. But now my body doesn't look like how I my ideal body looked like when I started, right? We all have this ideal body when we start, and I learned along the way that my body is gonna look how my body's gonna look, and I have to work with the genetics that I have. I have to work with the cards that were dealt to me, and some people have long legs. Some people have long arms, short legs, long torso, short torso, bigger joints, smaller joints, different proportions. And there's one thing that I can't change. I cannot change my body's proportions. There's just no way. And you can't spot reduce. You can try, I mean, you can do it surgically, you can do it medically, but for the most part, you can't really do it naturally. There are some kind of little things you can try to do to maybe change it, like 0.5%. But for the most part, you can't spot reduce. You can't pick a spot on. So you remember those commercials where it would be, and this idea is very incessant throughout our culture. People think that if you do crunches, you're going to get a six pack. That's the thing. They think if I just do enough crunches, a six pack will emerge from this body. And it just doesn't work like that. You can add. Anyway, so my point is that when I started, it didn't end up, the answer wasn't what I thought it would be in the beginning. And I assume that as I go through this journey, I'm going to be wrong a lot. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm over here building an independent AI system, and I'm building it in my own way. And it's what I like, it's what I want, and it's my way of figuring it out. And I am not a guru, I am not an expert. There are so many ways to build a system. It is mind-boggling. There are way too many decisions for me to go over all of them here with you today. I would like to let you know that I have joined a Discord community. I've been a part of the community now for a couple of months, and I've learned a lot. If you are building with AI, you have a place to go. Okay, there's a Discord. We are building out this Discord to welcome everyone. It doesn't matter your background, if you're a tech person or you're not a tech person. I am not a tech person. I don't know the technical jargon. I am trying to learn some of it or what's applicable to me this week and share some of that with you, but I am certainly not an expert. And in fact, I was talking to somebody about this week. His name is Victor. He is awesome. And he is over on the Discord community. And he said, we were talking about this idea of generalists. Okay. In the world of HR, we have HR generalists. They know about a lot of different areas of HR, and they can help point the person that's having the issue to the correct area of HR. Is it a global HR issue? Is it a payroll issue? Is it an employee benefits issue? And so on. They can steer that employee or that problem or that crisis or situation or project to the correct area and be involved at a high level. And that's what I feel like right now with AI. I'm not specialized really in everything. I just want to know about it all. I just want to know about it. And I did this as well with my fitness journey. I took every single class at the gym. And I told myself I couldn't decide whether or not I liked something until I took it 10 times. Okay, because the first time you take it, you're gonna hate it and you're gonna suck at it. So that we hate things that we are not good at, believe it or not. And I know I'm not gonna be good at something right when I first start it. So I know my first instinct is going to be, bah, those people and they did this and it's too this or it's too that or it wasn't what I thought, and all that stuff is all going to happen the first couple of times you go. But by the 10th time, at least for me, some people it's probably more, some people it's probably less, is it's like, okay, I start getting the routine. Something about it starts being familiar and I know what to expect. And then I start tying the feelings that I have after the class to some other positive feelings or some other positive outcomes. I try to tie all these positive outcomes and reasons to keep doing it to the action that I want my big girl, my future self has wanted me to do because of the goals that I've set for myself. And it's very similar to this. So I not only took every class at the gym, the step classes, the Zumba class, I'm like, after taking all these classes 10 times, I've got to at least find one that I can tolerate for a long term because I was thinking long term. And I learned some techniques in powerlifting and I studied that for a while. I studied some strongman techniques, even though I'm not going to compete in strongman. I don't want to be a strongman. I don't want to be a power lifter or anything like that. But I wanted to learn, what are they doing that is successful, or what are they doing that I can learn from? Even though their goal isn't the same as my goal, there must be something that they're doing that I can learn from. And even though it was so far away from my bikini competition days, it's still useful information. And the same thing with AI. And a lot of people have a hard time when I go through and I talk about different topics other than AI and having them seeing some of the parallels. I can learn from someone else, even if their project isn't exactly like mine. Now, if their project is similar to mine, I may be able to learn more. And we are learning right now in our group how to do that. We're starting to get more people over there into our Discord. Excuse me. I get these old lady lips looking not so old here. There we go. So we're starting to get a little bit more specialized in our AI group, and we have a meeting on Saturdays where we will be trying to help people find each other, right? Like, I'm working on this and I'm working on that, or I am working on solving this problem. And if the problems that they're trying to solve rhyme, we want to try to group those people together so they can talk about the similar topics and talk about topics that everybody in that group is interested in. That's what I've been doing. And I want to bring forward the most honest version of me. I don't want to come on here and pretend like I know something that I don't. Okay. The world of AI is so vast and so complex. And there are so many different avenues. There are so many different use cases. And new use cases are getting brought up to my attention every single day. And it's very exciting. And the fact that we can go onto the internet and download a local model 100% for free just absolutely boggles my mind. And I'm never going to stop talking about it. I'm never going to stop. I ain't never going to stop. What I wanted to say that I haven't yet is that, one, I love William Montgomery. If you haven't looked him up, I recommend it, although he got in trouble a while ago. And some people, it's funny because when you find somebody funny, and I tell someone that I find a certain comedian funny, they might think that I am a certain way, or that I believe certain things, or I have certain problems, or I'm racist, or something like that. And I just love comedy. That's really what it is. I'm a comedy nerd. I watch Kill Tony and judge, I guess people, I can't stop people from judging me. But what I actually wanted to say, other than I love William Montgomery, and I think he's sweet and generous with his comedy and absolutely hilarious. And although when he screams, I know it injures his voice and he can only do it so much, I do appreciate that he does it every time he does it. I know he's harming himself. So I kind of have like this weird motherly relationship when I'm watching him, because I'm like, oh my God, he's so funny, but I know it hurts his voice and he gets tired of doing it. I don't want him to hurt himself. So I kind of have this very endearing relationship with this man that has no idea who I am. What I'm getting after is that I have come to a place where I want to use open source and local models as much as possible, as much as I can. And the reasons behind that are philosophical, they're moral for me, and ethical, and security reasons, and financial reasons. okay? Because all I see is that these costs for these AI services have to go up, and from what I understand, they have, and that the models have been limited even more, and data is being a lot of gatekeeping with data tokens. As I go through all this local model stuff, I am not that great at it, okay? I'm not. I'm still learning. These LLMs really fascinate me, and also what really fascinates me is the difference between classical AI and LLMs. And the fact that some of these people out here are using LLMs for purposes that LLMs probably shouldn't be used for, or it's very expensive to use an LLM in certain situations. And there are other things to do. There are other ways of doing it, and older ways, and ways that are just better than the new way. And I am still discovering those. My problem is that I have just so much to learn. There's only so much that a mom of two, soccer mom, business owner can learn in such a short amount of time. Because what I'm getting around to is I'm going down a different path than a lot of people, and I do believe that there are and there will continue to be a wave, a cascade, a tsunami of people that need open source and need local models. And I believe that local models will continue to become more efficient. There are so many smart people out there, and there are so many intelligent, brilliant, genius, innovative people in this community that can bring forward and can figure out these solutions. And thank God we have a community where we can share all of this information and learn from each other as we build and as we learn. And a lot of us are business owners, and we are trying to figure out how to use AI, when to use AI, when humans are absolutely necessary. And I am one of those that I believe humans are absolutely necessary throughout the entire process. These AI systems need babysitters. They need people to understand each process along the way and understand how the output is generated and how to fix the output. It's a whole thing. It is a lot of work. It is work. It is not easy. I'm not going to sit here and say it's easy, but I just find it fascinating, and I can't help myself but to enjoy this process of learning more about building my own AI system that is 100% mine, that I can use for improving my life and improving what is possible, blowing the lid off of what I thought was possible before, and having my goals and my visions expand. And that is probably the most addicting aspect to this whole industry of AI. And so, although I hate parts of this industry, there are other parts that I completely love. And I wanted to bring this forward in my introduction today because I think the way I talk about AI sometimes might sound like I hate it, or I don't like it, or I'm not going to use it. And that is absolutely not the case. I will continue to use it. I can't help myself. I have to know. Sometimes I just take the longer way because I want to figure out how to make my AI do something versus just doing it myself, just to learn how to do it, just to learn how an AI would do it, because the way that AI systems work and interact is completely different psychology than how humans communicate and interact. And having that translation in between is the hard part. It's the really hard part. And you will find as you go through, if you ever start working with AI systems, you'll say, oh, this will take a week. And then sometimes it takes a day, and sometimes it takes 2 or 3 weeks. And a lot of it depends on where you are in your AI system. And from what I can tell so far is it will depend on how much troubleshooting you have between now and your goal. Because troubleshooting, you can be making badass progress and moving towards your goal faster than you ever have before, and then you hit this gate, or you hit a wall, or you hit a bug, or a series of bugs, or a structural issue, or context issues, some sort of issue that forces you to make a change within your system. And then you decide to make the change in your system, and now your system's growing, and now your system's in a rebuild. Okay. And one of the things that I also wanted to say, I had this vision when I started going to the gym of what my body could look like. And it was an unrealistic expectation because I don't have the correct body structure to look like that other person that I idealized in my head. I have my own body, my own genetics, and I can only look as good as I can look. And also, I had to go through a process of accepting myself for who I am and all the different body types, the type of body I have, and learn how to work with that and learn how to love it. Okay. And I suspect that something similar will happen to me throughout the process of learning about AI, because the human body is an n equals 1 experiment. And as far as I can tell, so are AI systems. With these AI systems, I mean, you could have 4 heads, 6 arms, 2 legs, and 40 toes on each foot. It's like the anatomy of each system and the shape of each system can be very different. Okay. And so, although we can speak about some generalities just like we can with humans, these systems also, you can speak in some generalities, but at the end of the day, your system will be different than anyone else's. Let's see. Videos. I did record another video. So what happened is I recorded a video. I have a beautiful camera and a beautiful podcast studio that I want to use on a more regular basis. And my problem is that my children think it's cool in there. They like it very much, and they like all of the knobs and dials in here and also in my podcast room. And it seems as though every time I test and get ready to set up for recording, that little hands get places. And I am terrible at checklists that are longer than like 3 steps. So, with an audio board, a video board, and all of these, the lens on the camera, and focusing and lighting and audio setup, I have a problem with one of those features at every recording session. So, although I have the Rode mics and the Blackmagic Studio this and that, my recordings don't come out as professional as they should. And I just keep telling myself, I just keep doing it and I keep practicing. And sometimes it comes out really well and sometimes it doesn't. Okay. And so this week was one where it didn't come out that great, but I have salvaged some of it and I will be sharing part of it with you. It's probably going to be posting actually even before this video as a precursor to this video. So go over there and check out that for more details. And now I will be sharing with you my Straight to Heaven music that I created with AI. And if you are interested in building with AI systems or interested in AI at all, I strongly recommend that you join a community as I have, and I do have a link to that community in the description down below. And I look forward to meeting you, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
She's going straight to heaven for putting up with me all these years. All the tears, the trials, the piles of dirt, the mountains she turned to molehills. She's going straight through onto heaven, certainly before me. These years passed fast and I didn't see what she did every day for me. Took it for granted, unwarranted anger on my part, always intense over stupid shit like spilt milk. In a pinch she was a bitch, but always there for me. Hooked to my hitch, the faucet drips, playing a slow weary tune. The window glares, not the same without you. Ooh, I take up my blade, got nothing to say. Rolling low on the tile, seeing every grain. She's going straight to heaven for putting up with me all these years. All the tears, the trials, the piles of dirt, the mountains she turned to molehills. She's going straight through onto heaven. All these years, late nights, all the fights, all the little things I ignored, all the big things she endured. That old dirt road flashes a smile to me, tucked deep away in a distant memory. It smells the same as it did when we was just kids. Baits I slide and skid, late nights just for kicks. Till that night I crashed, had one too many drinks. The heartache I caused you, I hate to think. She's going straight to heaven for putting up with me all these years. All the tears, the trials, the piles of dirt, the mountains she turned to molehills. She's going straight through onto heaven, certainly before me.